What's happening, everybody? This is Ron Tucker with At Ron's Talking. Thank you for taking a look at my YouTube channel. Please feel free to subscribe. Throw me a few likes if you like. And understand that subscribing doesn't cost you anything. It's not like you're going to subscribe to a magazine subscription type deal. So it's free. It just helps out the algorithms involved with YouTube. Just helps us YouTube content creators in our effort to try to move ahead, move up the chain, so to speak, and just helps us promote what we're trying to do, which is, in my case, bringing you the truth, bringing you stories, bringing you information, hopefully thought provoking about what's going on in our national discourse. Wow, it's just been so much going on in this world, everybody, and some of the things I'm going to talk about this evening you already know about or you just heard about it. And if you haven't heard about it, well, you're going to hear about some of those things tonight. We in this country are embroiled in so many things. So many things are happening, mostly controversial things. And depending on where you're at, on which side of the spectrum, some people are going to deem some of the nuttiest things that are going on as good, and some of us who are relatively still sane, we're trying to figure out, man, the hell's going on with this person or this event. It's just been just a cavalcade, as they say, of things that's been going on. I can start just about anywhere, but let me think about where I want to begin. I'm going to start with, this might be kind of controversial, but I'm going to start with my man Diddy. Personally, I think my man Diddy, he's toast. He's through. When you look at the totality of things that he's being charged with, obviously he's locked up right now. He ain't getting out no time soon. They came at him with all the receipts, and he's got a so-called chief of staff, this lady that knows all the secrets, knows where all the dead bodies are, so to speak. And they saying she ain't talking right now. No, she's talking. She just ain't talking to the public. I know there are some individuals she's talking to, and I believe they're called the feds. After all the stuff that people have seen so far, probably on YouTube, like myself, I never really saw in detail the beatdown on his ex-girlfriend Cassie. I've been hearing about it, seeing little snippets, but I never really watched it in its totality until really today. And just watching him stomp on her and drag her by her hair and all this kind of stuff, he was just losing his mind in his little towel around his waist. He looked like a madman. And that, along with all the other evidence that they gathered, I mean, he, to me, let his fame and fortune that created power go to his brain in a bad way. And he just decided that he was going to just act out what he perceived of himself as all powerful. And sometimes when you get to the heights of that type of level of fame and fortune, it just makes people's mind just go in a different direction, and they really believe that they're above the law. You can ask Trump about that, but we'll get to him later. Another coffee break. It's kind of late here. Anyway, you can tell from watching all the things that Diddy has been involved in over the years, culminate with his freak off parties, and you look at all the history he's had with these artists that were young at one point, like Justin Bieber, Usher, you know. In like they say, sometimes where there's smoke, there's some fire, and it finally caught up with him. And now you talking about a fall from grace? That's a precipitous fall. I mean, that's like he's like somebody just jumped off an airplane and was doing skydiving and forgot his chute from 30,000. You going from my box that you rolling around in, you know, these fresh whips and Lamborghinis, anything you want, eating all the kind of good, rich food that you can think of or desire, got all the ladies that you need, that you can handle. Of course, he went overboard with all this, with the women and stuff. You're living a life that most people only dream of. And I keep thinking, why couldn't you just continue to be, if you were that talented as a producer and an MC and all that, like you were back in the day with Biggie and Maze and all the other things that Bad Boy Records was involved in and about, and you got your own liquor that's making millions for, I mean, come on, man. And you let your arrogance of your ego just usurp any semblance of common sense. And look where you're at today. Those sleeping conditions are a lot drastic and different than what you experienced a few months ago, even a few weeks ago. You just got arrested. Those days, I ain't trying to gloat over somebody's plight and his fall from grace, but it's a fact. It's a wrap. Basically, they ain't gonna let you go. They got you now, and they probably been, you know, a lot of people in this country, successful black man, but you decided to be larger than life. Life has a way of bringing you down to earth. You can go from riches to rags, as well as going from rags to riches. Unfortunate, and the people who were victims, you know, I don't feel sorry for him about what he did to a lot of people, if the allegations are true. And after watching the Cassie thing, man, you ain't really got nothing to say. And last but not least about Diddy, I'm trying to understand what the hell you need with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What you got going on? A side hustle? You in the distribution racket now? I'm sure you didn't need all those bottles for your personal use. If your ankles are that ashy, shit, you need more help than what baby oil can do for you. I mean, my stuff gets kind of, kind of chalky sometimes too. But I don't need 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I'll just get mine one bottle at a time. But I'm just saying. Anyway, let me see. Who else is on the agenda? My guy, Michael, Eric Dyson. You know, the intellectual scholar, a man that from the outside looking in, I admire him tremendously. His articulation, his intellectual ability to discuss, real high level topics, and I believe he's somebody that people like Oprah is going to call up and confide in or discuss things with and receive advice from. He's that kind of guy, internationally known. So he was on a panel on CNN, I guess a few weeks ago, I saw some of the discussion with Representative Nancy Mace. And to me, she's a known Republican MAGA flamethrower. And so she's been in the news lately for, you know, disparaging Kamala Harris's name because of her white privilege. She can do that, she felt, and she expressed that feeling on the show on CNN. So it's about 4 or 5 other people on the round table with Mr. Dyson. Now, he was sitting next to Mace, and he was trying to, make his point about, hey, you shouldn't try to butcher her name like that, and everybody know how to pronounce her name other than Trump, who doesn't intentionally, and now you're doing it. Now, come on now. And then she claimed that, oh, now you calling me a racist. And he said, no. I didn't call you a racist. I didn't say you were racist. But he tried to placate her and told her, trying to say some nice things about it, kind of take the temperature down and said, I'm sure you're a wonderful woman and this and that and blah, 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 but I'm sure that's not what you meant and all that. That was exactly what she meant when she was saying she can say Kamala's name any way she chooses. Okay. So a few days ago, it was discovered by Representative Mace airing out the laundry that in Congress now. And she's pointing out, she took some screenshots where Mr. Dyson slipped into her DM and started saying some nice things about it, talking about how she was gorgeous and shh, don't tell anybody, but we look good together, and a little photo that they took together, I guess it was prior to the show. And, he said some things like, I think, he liked to have a few photos of her. And, he didn't say anything sexually implicit or risque, but, at the end of his greetings tour, he shot her an emoji with blowing a kiss, and she was like, ha, 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 all that stuff. She couldn't wait to get at her place of business in Congress. And instead of focusing on legislation and doing the work of the people, she wants to let everybody know, I didn't hook this dude. I didn't want to say the N-word, but that's what she basically did. And he slipped. And what it looked like, and especially from the slant she was putting on it, is like he was trying to crack on her. Trying to get a little bit of that. And from my observations of Nancy Mace and a little bit about her history, she's that type of chick that thinks she's hot. Thinks she's all that because from the neck down, you can say she's attractive. Neck up, she better put that makeup on it. But I don't know if the brother was trying to hit on her. Now, he vociferously denied what she was alluding to and what she was trying to categorize him as. And he came back with some pretty nice rebuttals on, social media and all this. Came on The View, expressed his viewpoint on what was happening. Tried to let her know what time was, that he in no way was inferring that he was trying to, hook up with her and holler at her and all that. Brother, to be honest with you, I'm still down with you, brother. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we all, might have your slippers on, but the ones you were wearing on this till, they were kind of plush. But I'm hoping that you learned your lesson. I don't know if you were trying to get them draws or not. Like I said, it's up to debate. And, the Twitter trolls, they're going to have their opinions about it too, which they've already expressed. A lot of them, throw it sided with Mr. Dyson. And again, based on the kind of snake and viper that Nancy Mace is, it's a flip of the coin. But I know one thing, I can't understand why she wants to spend congressional time talking about something that she should have kept private. Now, if you felt like he was out of line, or you didn't even appreciate him trying to contact you like that, you could have talked to him either privately, like y'all were doing at first, but you want to use him as an example and try to clown him in public. But that's her. And now I hope the brother understands, which I know he definitely does. Now, don't go there. Don't mess with her. Wrong move, bro. Wrong move. Okay, so you justified everything with your explanation of what happened, and people gonna be doing some chin rubbing like, all right, bro. Yeah, okay. I don't know what his relationship or love life is like right now, if he's single or whatever, but I don't know, bro. It looked like you were kind of thirsty there. But I don't know what lurks in people's hearts sometimes. I don't know. So anyway, that happens. That went down this. You folks had to excuse my little intermittent sniffling here because I don't know. My wife has allergies, and I don't know if allergies are contagious. Maybe somebody can share that with me, but I might have caught something. But lately, I've been sniffing a little bit, but it comes and goes, so I don't have full-blown allergies. But anyway, who cares about that, right? All right. Let's see. Who's the next victim to be talked about? Oh, anybody seen Roseanne Barr lately? And you probably wonder why I bring her up, because I just saw her on the news tonight, and she's still up to her batshit crazy self. I mean, she was screaming at a Tucker Carlson little gig or shindig, whatever you want to call his thing now. I guess it's a little town hall, something, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, old Rosie, she was in her prime form, screaming and hollering about how much she loves President Trump and all this stuff, sheer nuttiness. And Carlson was taken aback, and then he had to laugh, probably because she was acting so damn crazy and nutty and just psychotic. But I listened to her screeching like a screaming Mimi, and I was thinking that he got just what he deserved for inviting her crazy ass on his show. Anyway, I just think that for whatever the reason were, she just lost her mind a long time ago. So, she's a basket case. But he's got to be stupid and dumb if he didn't think that she was going to come up there on the stage and act like she's normal. Not too smart, Tucker. Not too smart. But, well, you got some publicity out of it. So, there you have it. I guess my guy from North Kakalaki, Mr. Robinson, what we gonna do with him? Mr. Mini Soldier, the Black Nazi. This brother was losing, according to the polls, to his Democratic challenger, I think around about close to 11 points. He was already underwater. So I thought that the pizza at the pawn shop thing had already just finished him off, basically. But this new revelations about all the things he was saying on these Nude Africa and some of these other websites and stuff he been posting for years and everything showed his true color, and also the fact that you know, he wants to have some slaves himself, brother. How you gonna have some slaves, and especially if they black, and you black? You ain't slave. You wouldn't have any slaves. You just have some family members. That's all. That's all that'd be. Y'all in the same crib. You're in the same boat they in. So who's the slave? Or matter of fact, who's the fool? You sound like a fool, and you're gonna get trashed during this election cycle. You're through. You toast. You're gonna get cooked, and you brought it all upon yourself because for some reason you don't like being black. You don't like what black people stand for or what they're about. So, okay, have it your way. Mr. Robinson neighborhood is all jacked up, but you know, what can you say? I just saw a little bit of news also switching gears on the personalities a little bit. I see though Laura Trump, she thinks that Vice President Harris's campaign is worried. She claims that Vice President Harris can't connect with the people. Like, claims that she got a manufacturer connection with voters. And she went on and on talking about how Kamala's having a hard time trying to sell people to her campaign and all this kind of stuff. And she's talking about, well, she was saying so many crazy things. Talking about they didn't dump so much money into her campaign that, it ain't gonna work though because you can't convince people on bad policies. And then her pappy-in-law Trump, he had to step up talking about Americans can't be swayed on radical ideas and all this stuff, and talking about he has a far more better connection with the American people than Harris. And this is what really got me though. His daughter-in-law, Laura, talks about she's going down. Kamala Harris is going down to the Mexico border for a photo op. And then she says that she's totally left the border unsecure for 4 years, letting millions of people just dump into our country, including known terrorists. If she wants to get something changed, she needs to go over and talk to Joe Biden and strong-arm him, just like she strong-armed him out of the race for president. Tell him to actually implement laws that are written on the books, but she will not do it. And then she also said she needs to pressure President Joe Biden to make a difference in policies that are impacting people now. And I'm thinking to myself, now, this woman has got the nerve to talk about somebody who can't connect to the public, can't connect to people. She talking about Trump, he connects with the American people. And then you're going to talk about photo ops? Man, I don't know what's wrong with some of these people. Trump is the king of photo ops. Maybe she didn't understand or familiarize herself with the Arlington National Cemetery thing. But knowing that somebody like her, who has about as much experience as Trump has, she's the co-chair of the RNC, nepotism at its finest. I don't know why she even, well, forget it. People like her are always going to chime in areas where she has no business being at. But anyway. You understand that Melania is all upset about different things. Probably, first of all, with her husband being a serial cheater and a liar and all that good stuff. But she's trying to hawk her book, getting her grift on, and she's upset because the Secret Service, the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago when they were trying to get the government documents back from her crooked, corrupt husband. And I'm thinking, well, it's a fine time for Melania to start chirping now about anything. She's been radio silent for the most part because her husband is a bum. He's crooked and corrupt. You ain't even try to support your husband while he was trying to campaign with his lies and everything. You know what's in it for you. As always, if he gets over, you get over. If he falls on his face, you're going to get ghosted like you did during this campaign. So I would prefer Melania to just sit down, enjoy the riches and everything that you've been exploiting for a long time, being married to this crumb, and just go away. We don't really care about your nudity in your book you trying to hawk because you trying to sell the idea to some of these desperate individuals out there that probably salivating and drooling, thinking they're going to see something that would really get them excited. And you're going to probably show some nude pictures, semi-nude. I know those MAGA morons are probably slobber and everything. Can't wait to see if they're going to kiss some of that floater's coochie. She going to get them just like Trump would. She going to hawk those books. And after they purchase them for probably a hell of a lot more than it's worth, they're going to be sorely disappointed. Because they don't want to see more than a couple nipples. They want to see everything. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. But once you buy that book, she got you. She got you. She done learned from the master. So y'all go right ahead and believe she's a reasonable facsimile of Jackie Kennedy. Be best. That's all y'all gonna get out of her. So let me move on to some other topics. Rudy Giuliani. He made an appearance, I think about a week ago, at one of Trump's rallies. Now, this rotund, fat, buffalo butt troll of a man who still thinks he's relevant. He's been very instrumental in helping bring Trump down, and I appreciate him for that. But Trump's campaign has really got to be in trouble if you got to go back and do a recall on Rudy and have him show up, and he's up there screaming about how he is going to get anybody who's trying to assassinate Trump. Well, first of all, Rudy, you ain't in law enforcement anymore because you done broke the law too much. Number two, you too late because any attempts on Trump's life has already been done. Here you come like you got the ability, let alone the power, to do anything. You're going to find anybody who was coming after Trump like that. What you better be looking for and trying to find is that money that court just ordered you to pay to that firm who was investigating your finances, since you were very reluctant to cooperate with the judge's order to show your financial documents. So they hit you for $300,000. And the court said, you better pay. And that's not even including that $1 billion or whatever that you owed Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss for your slanderous lies about the voting implications that you put them in, like they were involved in voting in election interference. You sorry slob. You another one that needs to go somewhere and sit your old, ancient, molded, mildewed, decrepit, arthritic, rheumatism-toting butt down somewhere. Okay? Your fossilized ass needs to just sit down and chill because most likely you heading for jail. And when you do go, you know it's a wrap. I can't believe and understand why you still out here hanging around anyway right now, but I believe you probably snitched on enough people at the feds and allowed you to hang out there because they probably figured you got some more snitching to do. So, anyway, go on, Rudy. You still my guy. Keep on jacking Trump's business up, and we'll still remember you for that, Mr. America's Mayor. So let me get to my favorite buddy, old Donald Trump. He's up to his old tropes and tricks. And he was in Pennsylvania this past week, and he was speaking to an audience there, and he had the nerve, the audacity, to say that the people in Springfield will never be the same. He was gloating about what he and his Confederate running mate, JD, which I call Just Dumb, Vance, started spreading lies on the constituents of Springfield, whose constituents of it happen to be Haitians. But here's Trump. The fact is, and I will say it now, you got to get them the hell out of here. They got to go. They got to go. And, it's the master of racism. He looked around at his disciples out there in the audience, and like the dictator that he dreams of becoming, he waited for his reward. The applause, the chants that came up. Send them back. Send them back. Send them back. And he preened and looked around and surveyed the scene like old peacock he is, and continued to survey his mastery over these mindless idiots who serve and heed all of his racist dog whistles, and of course he was just nodding in approval. That's the kind of guy that Americans, at least 35% or more, wants back in office again. I remember this little commercial ditty, cereal called Sugar Crisp. That little honey bear used to say, "Can't get enough of that Sugar Crisp, Sugar Crisp, Sugar Crisp." Same thing with Trump. These Trumpers and MAGA people can't get enough of Trump. Got to have him back in office so he can destroy our country some more. They didn't get enough the first time. They miss him. They miss this incompetent, corrupt creature who is just totally oblivious to how government works. But he was their choice back in 2016, and he blew up like a dud firecracker, but they still believe in him. They still believe in him, no matter what. Let me move on a little bit, though, to one of his toadies, Vivek Ramaswamy, as I call him. And Vivek, he decided to reinstate his loyalty to the Donald by, what else? Lying. Of course, he's doing the book tour grift, too, by trying to sell his book titled, get this now, Truths. Truths. Why do all these professional liars like him and Trump love to invoke the word truth in their books? And in Trump's case, he had the audacity and the gall to name his social media platform Truth Social. knowing he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a distant relationship with the truth. Truth never saw him. And he don't know truth either. So, anyway, old Vivek, he decided to hold a town hall meeting in Springfield. So, he wanted to provide those people there with some of his sage intellectual advice. And see, after he had been at the town hall and made a fool of himself, Casey Hunt of CNN had him on the show. Now, how the whole thing kind of started was when he came to Springfield, there was a lady who told him that she had never experienced this kind of animosity and vitriol that stemmed from him and Trump spreading the lies about Haitians eating their neighbors' cats and dogs. So she asked Count Chocula, that's what I call him. If you look at that box of cereal that was called Count Chocula, Ramaswamy looks like he was the character. He was the thing that they more or less patterned the cartoon after. They look like they related. So, old Count Chocula, he didn't really want to deal with that question, but the lady asked him, hey, don't you think that they need to apologize? And do you think it's right for what they did? So, of course, Ramaswamy, true to the MAGA creed, and being a natural born liar himself, he started going over the river and through the woods to grandmama's house we go. Now, I've seen and heard some first class bullshitters in my time on this planet. Now, I've been around for a minute. And I've seen other than men of the cloth and Trump. I think old Count Chocula Ramaswamy, he may be top tier when it comes to BSing and lying. So, here's what he basically told, and before I get to how he ended his little soliloquy about how to address the question from this lady, another guy asked him, or basically told him, he's been called the N-word maybe a handful of times in his life. But in the last 2 weeks, or the last week rather, he been called the N-word twice ever since all this Haitian immigration stuff jumped off coming from Trump and Vance. So, old Ramaswamy, he basically, his real reason for coming there was to just swoop in like old buzzard and come and do the cleanup duties for Trump and also promote his book. So he came and started talking to this guy, and of course, being the true liar he is, he started addressing the issue and the questions with this intellectual hocus pocus. And like I said, I've observed him. He's such a phony, and he's mastered the art of the Republican bullshit by never directly answering any question in the affirmative. Now, he rivals Trump in a babbling, toe-tapping, that would make the Nicholas brothers blush and Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers seek a new occupation. Now, he'll take you to Singapore and back in 20 minutes now. And as James Brown would say back in the day on this song, talking loud and saying nothing. So, after the guy tried to explain to Ramaswamy what went down, and it said his skin color, which he's not really dark, he doesn't even look like he's Haitian, all right? But he got called the N-word, like I said, a couple times in a week. Now, he said he heard other horror stories of darker skinned people being chased down by white folks telling them to get out of this country as if they own it. Friends and friends of friends being told to get out of here. You're Haitians. We don't want you here. One time in front of a 6-month-old baby at a grocery store. Yet, here comes old Count Chocula Ramaswamy to the MAGA rescue, of course, dispensing his sage advice. Oh, Ramaswamy, being the clown he is, said the guy didn't say the incident involving him happened the last week. Clearly, the man said last week, it's on the video. Anybody can watch it and see what the guy said. Okay? But Vivek obviously knows the truth don't work for him, just like it don't work for Trump. So Vivek said it was in the last year. Okay. And really, what real difference does it make, the timeline in regards to what was said to this man? They dropped the N-word on him a couple times, and that's all that really matters. Well, Trump and Vance, they created all this chaos, and they both refused to apologize. And so we're going to put these two in the White House? I mean, you got to be kidding. Republicans, is this all y'all got to offer America? So Vivek took the people at the town hall and went through a head-scratching journey about how he doesn't believe America is a racist country, despite all the evidence given to him. Then he says in the same breath that America is the least racist country known to mankind. Now, how are you going to have both of those at the same time? Either we're not a racist country or we're the least racist country. It's either one or the other, right? That's how those Republicans roll. And I know Ramaswamy, he's not surprised that he only garnered about 4.1% of the votes during the presidential primary. I don't know, maybe because he's full of more shit than a porta potty at an outdoor event. And then the next thing he said was something like, there's something going on like in the last 9 or 12 months in this country. It's possibly you stepping into the national spotlight. Maybe that could be something that's going on. It's possible, right? Next, he said he's bothered by a weird uptick in racial tensions in this country, where he previously said that he claims the country's not racist. Once again, all the toe tapping and tiptoeing and sliding and gliding and ducking and dodging. They just can't be believed, and they will refuse to be genuine about anything. Can't just refuse to think about telling the truth and answering anything direct. They can't do it. Then, of course, he leaped to another issue in the same breath, basically. Now, immigration. It says Springfield was unprepared to have 20,000 people dumped into a city of 50,000. He said, of course, you're going to get a reactionary response from the people. They're going to have ill will, in this case, towards Haitians in the Haitian community. Oh, let me see. Let me ask any of y'all right now. Who even knew where the fuck Springfield, Ohio was located prior to the night of the ass kicking that Trump received at Kamala Harris's hands at the debate? I'll wait. Nobody? Anybody? The reason why is because that city, that little small city in Ohio, was not on anybody's radar until Trump got panicky, scared, and decided to fire that shit out of his mouth because he was getting hammered by Kamala Harris. And just like true to form, like he's always done, he started crumbling. And he started grasping for straws because he needed a lifeline somewhere. So what's the first and favorite trope for racists like him, and especially in the MAGA community? You go to the race card. And he's going to single out the Haitian population. Why? Because they're black. It's that simple. He had nothing else to offer in that debate. She made him look like a fool. She disrobed him. I mean, I know that's probably not a good sight to think of when it comes to him. But she undressed him. She just straight up undressed him. And after the debate, of course, true to Trump form, he claims he won. I won. I won the debate. And he damn sure don't want to give her a rematch. The Harris campaign has already offered to go ahead and go on his favorite TV network, Fox, now. And let's have the debate again. Let's have another one. No. Trump don't want no more of that smoke. No. To get embarrassed twice by a black female? Come on now. You know he ain't going for that one. Trump may be dumb, but he ain't that stupid. And then let's look at the false equivalency that the media and all of the Trump supporters are trying to bandy about, as far as we need to see more of what she's talking about. She needs to do more interviews. She needs to explain her policies more. She needs to talk more to the American people. They want to know more about her. They don't really know her. Blah, blah, blah. They know as much as her and of her as they need to know. And what they don't know about her, she'll let them know. And she's already shared her policies with the American public. She's told them what she plans to do. Hooking up Americans with $50,000 to start a business. Hooking them up with $25,000 to start, get them a fresh start on a new home. All those kind of things. Child tax care credit. When Trump was asked the questions, what was his response? It'll be famous over the years. I got concepts about a plan. See, Trump gets to just glide and waltz and slide his butt on through a debate or an interview. Remember the NABF debacle? He gets that mulligan all the time. He gets that he gets a bye. He gets a free pass. Because they know he's stupid. And they know he's ignorant. And they know he ain't got nothing in his hand to show. Now, she got to go above and beyond, of course. And we all know why. But she did it anyway. And clowned him. And he just stands there ready to attack, talking about her laugh, calling her a hyena, all these kind of things. Now his go-to line right now is he's constantly harping about the fact that he doesn't believe she worked at McDonald's. So that's going to be the determining factor whether she's qualified to be president over her job at McDonald's. He talking about he gonna go to McDonald's and stand over the fries because he knows she never did it. It's hard to, he ain't gonna stand over no fries. He gonna be trying to eat the fries. That's what he gonna be trying to do. And smash any burger he can get his hands on while he's there. That idiot, he let a McDonald's bring him on for a 1 hour stint. They'll be closing down the damn shop in the store because he gonna F it up. You watch. But he ain't gonna do nothing. Run his mouth and talk. But he's so fixated on whether she worked at McDonald's. Hell, when you had a job, which was being president of the United States, you fucked that up. So you know the McDonald's don't want you behind their damn grill or mess with their fries or nothing. Man, Trump, he's a joke. He's just a joke. In America, y'all got to be crazy. Anybody who's supporting this fool and talking about windmills and washing machines and the amount of water coming out of faucet and sharks and Hannibal Lecter. This dude is just so ridiculously stupid, and America still wants to put his ass right back in office again so he can continue with his criminal activity. That's why he got impeached twice, folks. Remember COVID? No, y'all don't want to remember COVID. He was an abject disaster. Sat on his hands during January 6th, the damn thing that he incited. And if he hadn't ran his motor mouth and incited all the controversy and the individuals who he galvanized to go to the Capitol and damn near destroy it, and have all those congressmen and those politicians running for their damn lives, the same politicians who wants to acquiesce now and talk about, well, some of those people are prisoners and political hostages, just like Trump said. Because if Trump says it, they all fall in line and say, yep, that's the way it is. Because Trump said it. Just like when Trump said he lost the election, he's the first one to say it. And then everybody else agreed. But Kamala Harris, she got a resume. Trump got a rap sheet. You people cannot see the stark contrast in these two people. Oh, man. This woman was a prosecutor, a TA, an AG, senator, now VP, heading toward the presidency. So let's look at Trump's resume. Failed business person, 6 bankruptcies, sham university where he had to call for $25 million because it was a fraud, just like him. Okay. Back in the day, him and his pappy were charged with housing discrimination against black folks. But these same black for Trump people running around here now think he's worthy of their vote and their consideration, of course. Central Park 5 still hasn't apologized for what he tried to do to them. Want them to get executed because of his racist ass beliefs. And told Hispanics how he felt about them on a number and numerous occasions. But you got some Latinos who still believe in this clown. And he ain't got a lick of credentials to be president of the United States again. What kind of political experience does he have doing anything? He got over in 2016 with the help of the Russians. And hell, almost anybody who's been associated with him is either facing jail, they in jail, they'll be in jail. Because he is a one-man crime machine. And on top of that, you want to put this traitor who hoarded mountains of our most sensitive government secrets. Anybody else would have been under the jail right now as we speak. But not him. Not Trump. Because he's been an embarrassment. And he always will be an embarrassment. And one last thing about my boy Donald. One thing that stuck in his craw for the longest and still does is Barack Hussein Obama. See that middle name? You see how he tries to emphasize it in his little stinking little rallies all the time? Yeah, he's saying, you heard of that name Hussein, have you? You heard of Hussein? Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, he loves to keep Obama's name in his mouth because Obama is residing in his little peanut brain because he's never forgotten a couple of things. One, when Obama clowned him at that Democratic that correspondent dinner, and he ridiculed him and made him look small. Trump was hot. But one thing Trump knew, he didn't have to worry about running against Obama because he knew Obama couldn't run anymore. So he just waited it out and came in at the right time to try to get into that position of becoming president. Because he knew Obama would have kicked his ass in a presidential race. But ever since then, as soon as he got in office, he was trying to dismantle everything that Obama put together. He's mad and upset because he knows Obama will always be a better president than he ever could imagine being. Because Obama was competent where he's incompetent. Obama had leadership where Trump was bereft of it, and still is. Obama didn't have all the drama. That's why they call him No Drama Obama, because when Obama was president, twice, 2 terms, Obama never got impeached, never had any sex scandals on his wife. Never had any indictments going on. Obama's never been convicted of any felonies. Trump got 34 and counting on him right now. Obama took over a presidency that was in disarray. The country was as well. It was during a crisis of the highest order, and he handled it. Because the man was sharp and he took care of his business, and it was all about the country, not about himself. He ain't trying to grift. He wasn't trying to sell books. He wasn't trying to sell coins. He wasn't trying to sell sneakers. He wasn't trying to sell Trumpy bears and all this kind of stuff, all this idiotic stuff that Trump has been doing his whole career in politics. Because he is and was and still is an embarrassment. And he has no clue in what to do with anything. And like I said, I harken back to COVID. No one wants to really talk about it too tough anymore, but the blood of hundreds of thousands of people are still on Trump's hands. He was running around telling everybody for weeks and months that the virus was going to go away. It's because he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And then he's going to blame Birx and Fauci on his inability to comprehend anything and take decisive action because he was not equipped to be a leader of anything. Because he was too busy having rallies after he'd already won. Who in the hell keeps having rallies just to justify that they legitimately won an election? He knew he didn't. And that's why he was constantly having rallies all the time, trying to convince himself that he was supposed to be there as president. See, that's that insecurity that has haunted him his whole life and still haunts him. Okay? America, man, we got to do better. We got to do better than him. There's just no question. And that Project 2025 got his name all over it 312 times, and he don't know nothing about it. Come on now. Y'all know as soon as Trump opens his mouth, he's lying. But you got a bunch of Americans right now, they ready to buy that lie again. Like I said, we still waiting on that check to clear from Mexico for that wall. Ain't gonna happen, y'all. Because see, Trump's got that penchant, that ability to talk about everything he gonna do when he didn't do it when he had the opportunity to, when he was president. He never got it done. And we still waiting. At least the Republicans and MAGA morons, they still waiting to hear him tell us how he's going to change and improve the Affordable Care Act. What about infrastructure? I remember that gold shovel that he broke ground with those individuals from that Taiwanese corporation, Foxconn, I believe that's the name of it. He screwed people in Wisconsin and other places talking about what he's going to get built. Never happened. Biden came in and took over that same ground that he broke ground with his gold shovel. I think it's with Apple, I believe. And they're going to build a facility there that's going to put people to work. But you hear from Trump, he can look at everything that may not be right now and claim that he could have done it better when he was in office. And when he was in office, he didn't do shit but play golf and hold rallies. Hell, he holds so many rallies, you'd think he's the CEO of Rally's Hamburger. But he's the clown in chief, always will be. And if America even thinks about putting him back in office, we're going to get exactly what we deserve again. A corrupt criminal and an abject fool. And every time you see him doing this thing right now at some of his rallies and interviews, the man is incoherent. He's babbling about everything. He don't make no damn sense. But the people turn the blind eye to him because they know he's a fool. But they want a fool in office, I guess. Stock market's up hitting record highs. But Trump last year said that, you know, by the time the election comes around again, if Joe Biden, no, I back it up, before, well, put it like this, I think it was after he lost. He predicted that if he doesn't get back in office, stock market's going to crash and we're going to have the worst economic conditions like you've never seen before. Economy's been blooming. Stock market's been blowing up. See, Trump makes predictions on things that he has no clue about. He doesn't know anything about the comment. And I always talk about, in order for him to make America great again, especially with the economy, his solution is to tax all these foreign countries. The tariffs with China. It's not that Trump doesn't understand. He don't care. He just wants to make sure that a lot of stupid Americans don't understand that them tariffs are causing goods and services flowing into the United States to cost more to the end consumer. You taxing them? Well, they're going to pass that tax on to your ass. Wake up, America. He's a con artist. He done conned his way into the White House once. He's trying to con his way into it again. And I'll be damned if some Americans are bound determined to put this fraud back in the White House. And the main thing he wants to get into the White House for is to save his fat ass. To keep him facing all the legal issues that he's facing. Because he know there's some numbers waiting to be placed right up underneath his chin. And he already had some numbers on his chin when he was in Georgia, when he got indicted and got his ass a mug shot. And you see, he tried to profit off of that because he's a grifter, a coyote, snake. Yeah, he walks on his belly. That's what a snake does. And one last thing about Trump, a lot of people, I don't think they understand. Excuse my sniffling. I'm very sorry about that today. Trump is not smart enough to employ and put together all these racist policies and the things that he says on social media and all this stuff. Now, I know he probably posts on social media. When you see some of the typos and stuff, you know it's probably in his hand. But he's being fed information from his racist aides and supporters. Trump is just a messenger. The message is coming from those people behind the scenes. The Stephen Millers, the guy that's architect of the Project 2025. And people like them, they're all around him. And they feed Trump with all the conspiracy stuff, the Laura Loonies of the world. They all over him like a cheap suit. So it's those people behind the scenes are the real architects of Trump's delivery and the things that he wants to share at his rallies. Trump is not that intelligent to pull that shit off. He's got a lot of help, folks. Believe me. A lot of help. So, if you think you saw him at his worst back in 2016 to 2020, well, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. You can see how he's doing his thing right now. It's Nutsville. So, all I can say is anybody who sees this man at his rallies and him on interviews and talking, folks, what you see now is just a smattering and just a taste of what he's going to wreak as far as havoc if he gets back in office. So you people that think that he's something that he's not, y'all believe that he's going to turn around and be a statesman, he's going to be presidential. He don't know how to do none of that. And he showed you already once. So go ahead and take another flyer on him and see what happens, America. I'm telling you, all these people voting for him, supporting him, you're making a big mistake. But hey, it's America. You do what you want. You can see this idiot for what he is. You know. You better leave him alone. You better leave him alone. Because he ain't no good for nobody but himself. It's just amazing. You got competence on one hand with Kamala, and you got total incompetence over here with Trump. And everything that flies in the face of common sense, some of these people still want to deal with this corrupt crook who has embodied the worst thing that any American president could exhibit. He's the absolute total worst. But like I said it before, many times, he's an embarrassment. And the people who put him in office, they embarrass for him, and that's why they try to cover up for him. Totally imbecile. So anyway, I'm off my rant, folks, for the night. I'm just, man, from every time I get worked up about the sheer lunacy of even contemplating having him in office, it just blows my mind why people can't see that man for what he is. He don't break the law. He done busted the law. And you got a lawmaker, law enforcement person on the other side, and then the Fraternal Order of Police wants to endorse this guy, while his MAGA minions, his morons, those imbeciles, at the January 6th debacle was cracking police officers upside the head and everything else. Way to go, Fraternal Order of Police. Good decision. Anyway, hope everybody has a good day. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like it. Throw me a few likes as well. I appreciate it. All I can say is I'll be back on it. You know, I can't let it go. And you folks all take care and be good to each other and get out there and vote. All right. Peace. I'm out.